Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Pillars of Eternity with me, Brengadon. You confront these bandits. Young dwarf tending to the stew looks up, startled, as he sees you approach. He drops his ladle, spattering stew across the ground. What? Bandit turns. Get him, you dogs. Make sure our new cook don't run off. Help. Please help. Mah. One of the bandits gives Tenfrith a kick as they pass him, and he huddles. Alright, here's regeneration. Let's go after this guy first. What I'll probably do is risk the disengagement attack to take out the archer after the rogue. There we go, finally got a proper hit. I probably don't need to use any more healing. They're barely getting through my defenses. I'm gonna go pop this anyway. Now that's a 1v1. Yeah, we're hitting him far harder than he's hitting us. Well, sometimes. Fantastic. The tent is empty but for a pair of stained cots and the stink of unwashed bodies.
Welcome.
By the flame, thank you. Thank you, thank you. I thought I'd be stuck cooking for these ignorant weasels for the rest of my life. Or until they were bored with me, I suppose. I must get back home. I only hope they haven't hired a replacement. The dwarf looks aghast. Listen, next time you're in Gilded Vale, stop by the Blackhound Inn. Let Pasca know just what you've done for me. I'm sure she'll do right by you in turn. Oh, to be back at my oven again. Alright, that's one good deed done. Let's get a rest to be safe. I want these two heals back while I'm exploring by myself before I have a party. Let's focus the big wolf down first and worry about the young wolves. Oh, he can't get to me. Even better.
Let's go.
first heal. Another Flames of Devotion.
Let's go.
Let's go pop the regeneration. Come on now. Really need to land those hits. 4 is not going to cut it. $14, $12, and $16. Another 14. I just eke out this victory after all. Let's get a little nervous. It took all of our resources, but I don't think the young wolf will beat us here. Alright, it's cutting it a little close.
Keeping quiet.
Remember right, there's something hidden in a wall over here somewhere. Might be up top. I'll have to come back here later for somebody else to find it. These aged walls appear to have once encircled this entire glade. Only a small fragment remains, and the stairs leading to the top of the structure have crumbled away. Examine the wall more closely. The heavy bricks are slick with moss, presenting a hindrance to climbing, but the stones themselves seem sturdy enough. Given the right tools, one might easily reach the top. And we'll try it anyway. Scale the wall. Find a handhold upon one of the large stones. You start to pull yourself up. Make your way steadily up the crumbling ruin and over the top. Scrawled letter. I do not think you will ever see this, but you're right, Fabano. We should have journeyed south together and been safer for it. I'll tolerate all the gloating in the world if I might live to hear it. I put myself out of reach of the beast circling below, but I am not done for all the same. I do not think I will rise again. Whoever finds this, pray for me. Perhaps in the next life, I shall be a trapper of wolves. Fabano's gloves plus suited dexterity. But never as famous as he would claim the Valian explorer Fabano was, known as eccentric who wished to see the world. Oh, there should be a comma there somewhere. Where possible, he traveled by foot to gain a local's appreciation for the sights, sounds, and smells of the lands he passed through. In practice, however, Fabano often claimed that his explorations proved only that the world outside the Valian republics was a foul, smelly place that paled in comparison to his homeland. These gloves are said to have belonged to Fabano, who often found himself in need of some protection as he climbed harsh terrain and maneuvered through forests. While thick enough to provide some warmth, they're meant first and foremost to be flexible enough not to hinder delicate tasks.
Huh?
From the edge of the wall, you can see an old cobblestone road turning south and the patchy trees of the Valewood. Climb down. You swing yourself over the side and pick your way back down to the ground below, to the ground level. Making up words as I read. Northwest to Garion's Grasp, south to Gilded Vale. Not gonna leave this area yet. Naunton? Darn thing. Come on. This man appears to be hurriedly dismantling his camp in quick, jerky movements. He looks up as you approach, his expression tense and drawn. Greetings, he says, a little breathless. On your way south, is it? He wipes his brow, turning to face you. The sooner you're clear of these woods, the better, I think. Our caravan was attacked. I've been trying to get to Gilded Vale. Hard luck, I'm sorry to hear it. You should be fine from here. There's no missing the Vale if you keep to the road. You haven't far to walk. But you want to keep clear of this place after that. We're just attacked, north of here. Me and a friend of mine. We came out here to hunt some deer. Came up on a bear instead. Great monstrous thing. And Pearly, he didn't make it. He shakes his head. I don't know what I'll tell his wife. In any case, this forest already cost me a friend. I'm heading home before it takes anything else. Who are you? Name's Naunton. Born and raised in Gilded Vale. Haven't had a spot of luck since. His face twists. Luckier than Pearly, I suppose. I already read that. What happened to your friend? We didn't see it coming. Naunton's voice shakes a little as he speaks. We're following a stag. Pearly, he saw something in the brambles. We went tearing off after it. Well, but stumbled into the cave. Poor Pearly didn't stand a chance. The bear was on top of him before we knew what was happening. The beasts will take what they will, I suppose. He smiles sadly. And this time, Galawain's favor fell upon the bear. Where did you find this bear? At a cave, a ways up that way. Here's a point to the northwest. I wouldn't seek it out if I were you. It was a great brute of a beast. Wait to hear that it took another life. Farewell. Let's go and rest up. The grass is still flattened behind the wagon's wheels. Barrels of cabbages, potatoes, and squash have been overturned and abandoned. I think you want to dance, buddy.
Sure.
Alright, let's quick save and go fight a bear. Well, let's see how we do.
go.
Oh, there's more than one. Oh, goodness. Alright, we'll come back here.
Right.
If it didn't two-shot me, we might have a chance. I guess I technically took 3 hits there.
You must be one of the new settlers. Welcome to Gilded Vale. You'll be pleased to know that we've had some recent vacancies here.
The man approaches you. His skin is dull and gray as the desolate village behind him. He scans you with sunken, lifeless eyes. His voice is a dry croak. He glances at the gnarled, leafless monstrosity of a tree next to him. You welcome everyone this way. The only answer you hear is the buzzing of flies from the tree.
Of course, we'll need to make some inquiries first. The inestimable Lord Radric VII has taken great pains to insulate our town from Widewind's legacy. Have you ever sired a Hollowborn child?
His gaze swivels back to you. He appraises you over half-moon spectacles and scratches his chin. What are you talking about?
An infant born without a soul, of course. Lord Radric has made it his first priority to eliminate this scourge from our village. I should warn you, stranger. Here in Gilded Vale, we have a special place for dissidents, charlatans, and those who would hide a curse in our midst.
He steps to the side and inclines his head ever so slightly toward the deformed tree.
His lordship's wife is with child and due any day now. Without his approval, I shan't be able to find you a permanent settlement. It will have to wait until after the birth. We can continue our interview then, after the bell tolls from Radric's hold to signal my lord's new heir. In the meantime, you can find temporary accommodations at the inn just southwest of here.
He folds his arms. You said something about Hollowborn and Wadewood's legacy before. He blinks. I forget that you foreigners do not have this curse in your homelands. The Hollowborn have been a scourge upon the Deerwood for almost 15 years now. He lowers his voice to a whisper. Children born without souls. He shakes his head. Pitiful, dumb things that breathe, barely, but do not truly live. Some say the Hollowborn are a disease. Some say they are a punishment from the gods. He raises his empty hands. In truth, no one knows. They began spreading after the Saints' War, so the name Wadewin's Legacy stuck in honor of that foul, blasphemous pretender. His voice shakes with vitriol. I see. What Radric's decrees may seem strict at times, but he has our best interests at heart. He nods. If any other questions, don't hesitate to ask. It's important that everyone in Gilded Vale understands our rules. Before I got here, I saw several people conducting a strange ceremony near some ruins. He regards you carefully. You want to mind why you mention that. Trespassing on Engwithan ruins is illegal, not to mention dangerous. You probably saw someone attempting some new ritual to appease the gods. People will try anything these days. Bareth have mercy. We certainly have. The Beawick was before they started. I don't think so. Just as they finished, there was a Beawick. He polishes his spectacles on his sleeve. If been that close to a Beawick, you wouldn't be standing here. I've been feeling strange ever since a close call with the Beawick. Is there someone in town who could help?
Whatever your problem, it sounds like a matter for an animancer. However, the only animancer in Gilded Vale isn't in any condition to speak. Consider yourself fortunate. After she failed Lord Radric, we saw to it that she wouldn't profit from the misplaced trust of others. A bad cure is often worse than none at all.
The magistrate frowns, and he points at a body hanging from the tree. He sneers.
But if you're set on finding a bottle of troll piss or a dead Audra pebble to rub on your forehead, you're welcome to check her pockets. A little corpse stink is nothing when you're digging for shit. My advice, however, is to be satisfied that you escaped and leave it at that.
Goodbye.
Keep out of...
Urget nods curtly.
Listen!
2 tolls. Let that be the last.
3. Gods have mercy.
It seems your arrival is ill-timed.
Urget looks out toward the east, his expression unreadable. He blinks slowly, and turns his attention back to you.
3 bells toll only for the death of a Radric. I fear Lord Radric's heir is lost, or else Hollowborn, and so lost all the same. You should tread carefully. Circumstances have changed a great deal.
A peculiar spasm crosses his face, and the corner of his mouth quirks up into a mirthless smile. What do you mean? You come to us at a time of mourning. The legacy is struck at the heart of Gilded Vale. Our efforts to redeem ourselves in the eyes of Bareth must be redoubled. He sets a steady gaze on you. What happened? He shrugs one bony shoulder. I'll know more details when the messengers arrive. The vagaries of childbirth, perhaps. That is not your concern. Does this affect the Lord's offer to new settlers? I can be sure of nothing right now. I advise you to get some rest. The inn, or a stable for all I care. Find me afterwards. I'll know more soon enough. Farewell. Scattered between the roots are bracelets of twine and bead, wilting flowers, and notes half erased by the rains. Beneath the vines are crude carvings of a sun rising over 3 stars.
Were you looking for someone in that tree? I could introduce you.
Strange way to talk about your dead. He looks up at the tree and breathes out. Half the town's up there now, it seems like. The right way to talk about it. I'm looking for someone who can help me feel better. He gives an understanding nod as he takes a long drag from his pipe. My condolences. He exhales and turns his attention away, watching the village around him. What if it's not the baby? Maybe Kolsk managed to... Hush. Are you mad? Leave it for indoors. As you near, you feel a vibrant history contained in the essence of this man's soul. Voices from its past seem to call out to you. Reach out for the soul. You see a pennant waving tall and sluggish in the wind, a rising sun embroidered on the banner, the vanguard of a small troop of paladins. The atmosphere is buoyant, if restrained, and their armor has not yet been tarnished by the elements. This expedition is fresh, young, filled with zest and zeal. At their head stands a commander, awkward in full armor, but determined in step. Despite the excitement of his fellows, he does not smile. There's a twist to his mouth, his countenance grim. He throws up a hand, halting his troop. Silence falls among them, feeling a dark thunder, deep and low. He orders them to ready their weapons and spread out. Eyes dart from horizon to horizon, necks twisting to see the source of the sound. In the distance, dust and lightning rise from the ground as Stygian clouds race towards them overhead. The soldiers stand, only the staccato movement of their breath betraying their nerves. The The commander closes his eyes, calling a blessing down on his troop. Invigorated, invincible, they wait as the enemy draws closer, poised to attack. Step back. You see 4 people gathered by the door to the inn. Their raised voices and chopping gestures suggest an argument reaching its climax. The first figure raises his hands for calm. His face is partially obscured by a hood, but his height and stature suggests an elf.
I meant no offense. Let's put this matter to rest over a round, shall we? My treat.
Hoping to soothe our pride with a few Adira coppers, eh? We don't need your coin.
The others, 2 folkmen and an elven woman, don't look convinced. The woman crosses her arms. She spits at his feet. Everyone calm down. Whatever this is about, I'm sure it's an overreaction. When the other man glares at the hooded elf, his eyes are red from drink, but his gaze is focused. We're humble folk, but we're no fools. Not like he thinks, mocking us while he shelters in our village. We don't take to that kind of talk from foreigners, especially not Adirans.
Go on. Say it again. I'm itching for an excuse.
The second man thrusts his chin at the elf. He stinks of sour ale.
Fie, you're itching for the kindling touch of your sister, you cocksfeather!
I'll cut that barrel-licking tongue out of your head.
A collective cry of outrage rises from the 3 locals. The second man snarls.
This is a misunderstanding. I didn't say whatever it is you think I said. We've nigh quarrel.
Horror and shock paint themselves across the elven man's face in broad, hasty strokes. He frowns and swallows. He plants his feet. Something surly and raw flickers through his eyes.
That's where you're wrong.
The elven woman draws a blade. I don't think attacking him is such a good idea. 3 drunks scowl at you. And why's that? Because then you'll have me to deal with. They look at each other. One of the men gives the other 2 a warning shake of his head before turning to you. We're done for now. But this one better watch his step around here, because we're not going anywhere. The final scowl at the elf. He turns to leave. As the 3 stumble away, the elf turns to you, the tension almost gone from his smooth face.
Not quite how I hoped to get to know the neighbors. Thank you for your timely assistance with that awkward situation.
You're welcome.
Courtesy is a rare pleasure in these parts, though your accent suggests that you are no more local than I.
He gives you a quick smile. He straightens his hood. You note the remains of fraying embroidery on his gloves. His boots are caked with the dirt of many months' travel, but the leather work beneath it is sturdy and fine.
Well, I suppose introductions are in order after that little fiasco. Aloth Corvisor, at your service.
Tell me about yourself.
Well, I'm a wizard by training, and an adventurer by necessity. I was born in the Seathwood, part of the mainland of the Adir Empire, and both of my parents served the nobility, which afforded me an education for which I'm grateful. However, there were no open positions in those houses, and so I decided to seek new means in a new land. And how exactly did you come to be here?
I was traveling with a caravan. We were separated near some ruins.
In Gwithan ruins? Well, those can be dangerous places during the best of times, which these are not. In half the locals would arrest you for trespassing, and the rest would kill you outright. I'm curious. What exactly did you find there?
He leans closer. I know Aloth. but my character doesn't, so I'm going to remain silent. A slow smile creeps across his face. A man must have his secrets. Very well. As far as my character knows, he could have been one of the men at the ruins performing that ritual. What are you doing in Gilded Vale?
An excellent question. I came looking for fresh air and cheap land. Instead, the magistrate gave me directions to the inn and a story about the local lord's expectant wife. But I take it that's a familiar tale.
He folds his arms and frowns, looking toward the center of town. He cocks his head, looking at you. And you? Let's try this. I don't want to share too much information with him, but if he knows where I can find someone to speak to... I've been experiencing strange things of late. I'm looking for an expert on souls.
Indeed. The local lord has searched far and wide for similar specialists. He has rid himself of them almost as desperately.
His eyes flicker as he looks you up and down. He nods at the gnarled old tree in the center of town. His darting glance takes in the tumble-down buildings and the fallow, rock-strewn fields. I expect that such expertise would be best sought elsewhere. Just how did you manage to cross those three drunks?
I'm afraid that was a matter of misunderstandings and mistranslations. It doesn't help that people in these parts remember their war with Adir like it was yesterday.
He tenses his fingers and looks away. You did tell that one man to go screw his sister. Ah, that. He clears his throat and adjusts his sleeves. As I tried to tell them, they misheard me. Happens all too easily after a few pints, and the accent doesn't help. I heard the same thing. For just a moment, he looks as if he's about to say something else. His expression brightens with mischief, but before he can speak, he forces a tight smile, lining his lips so hard you expect to see blood. Finally, his face relaxes, and he shakes his head. I should speak more clearly next time. My apologies. You don't exactly look like a settler.
Begging your pardon, but neither do you. Yet, circumstances can find a person in the strangest of places.
A slight grin crosses his lips. I should get going.
As should I, given recent events. It's just as well. I've had enough of the watered wine and lumpy beds at the inn. They say even the owner tired of the place. Just up and left one day. It explains quite a lot about the upkeep. Perhaps I could join you. I could use a change of scenery, and I find it's better to travel in numbers.
He wrinkles his nose. He gives you a guardedly hopeful look. So do I. Let's go then.
Excellent. I shall follow you.
Alright, we now have Aloth in our
How
party.
may I help?
He is a wood elf wizard. Handful of spells at his disposal.
Yes?
Alright, I'll look through these off camera so I have a better understanding of the spells, because I don't remember them that well. Some of them are pretty straightforward, like Fan of Flames. And we'll level him up next episode as well. But for now, I'm going to call it here, and in the next one, we'll again deal with Aloth, and continue exploring Gilded Vale. Still have a lot to do here. Alright, but for now, I'm going to call it here. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you guys in the next one.